Hello everybody, I'm Rizna, and this is our 4th dungeon guide for the Cataclysm Heroics. Today we'll be going over the Dead Mines and covering every detail you need to know. The first boss in this instance is Clubtalk, who consists of 2 phases. During phase 1, he will randomly cast Fists of Fire or Fists of Frost. Both of these abilities make him do extra fire or frost damage on his current target. This can be very deadly when combined with his blink, which he will also do very often. Whenever he blinks, he instantly drops all threat on the current target, so your tank will need to taunt him right away to make sure that he doesn't hit anybody else with the fist attacks. This will continue to happen until about 50%, at which time he will begin casting Arcane Power. He'll be floating in the middle of the room, and he will summon a moving lava wall that will slowly rotate clockwise. Your group will need to be in constant motion to avoid getting hit by it. Besides the fire, he'll cast Avalanche and a fire equivalent, and you'll see an animation on the floor, so make sure to stay out of these as they hit for considerable damage. On top of that, several elemental adds will spawn non-stop at an increased rate until the boss dies. You'll need to balance your DPS between the boss and the adds to make this fight simple. The second boss is called Helix Gearbreaker. He will be on top of a Lumbering Oaf, which you will need to defeat first in order to kill this. As the fight starts, several goblins on top of the room will begin to throw bombs on random locations. These bombs will explode after a few seconds, so make sure you stay away from them when you see them on the ground. The Lumbering Oaf will also randomly grab a member and smash them across the wall, so make sure group members stay away from the middle rail, otherwise they will get smashed as well. Once you kill the Lumbering Oaf, Helix Gearbreaker will jump on random raid members and hit them with his melee attacks. At this point, your group needs to focus him down while avoiding the bombs that will continue to spawn. He'll also attach a bomb on somebody's chest, and this person will need to run away from the group to prevent the explosion from hitting more than one player at a time, as that damage can very easily get out of control. The third boss is the Foe Reaper 5000. To beat this fight, you'll need one of your DPSers to take control of the experimental Reaper machine, and this can be found at the entrance of the room. The vehicle has 3 abilities. The first one deals melee damage and generates steam power, needed for the other 2 abilities. The second is a 3-second stun, and the third one is a knockback. You'll need all of these 3 abilities to deal with the molten slag that spawn throughout the fight so that they never reach your group. The Foe Reaper 5000 itself is very similar to Lord Marogar from ICC. You should pull him up the ramp so that the molten slags have a long distance to go to reach your group. He will cleave, so stay away from his front, and he also does an overdrive very often, which will make him spin out of control, dealing melee damage to anyone near him until it's over. Finally, Foe Reaper 5000 will randomly target a group member and cast Harvest, which is a 4-second cast. If you are the one targeted, you should move away from your current location, as the boss will then proceed to charge towards that position and deal enough damage to anybody in that direction to kill them, even a geared tank. Once the boss reaches 30%, his safety restrictions will be turned off and he will deal 100% more melee damage, which applies to all of his attacks. At this point, it turns into a DPS race, so make sure you save all your big cooldowns or burn them down as quickly as you can. After the Foe Reaper 5000, you will encounter Admiral Ripsnarl. He will have a buff called Thirst for Blood, which will increase his attack speed by 10% every time he deals a successful attack, stacking up to 20 times. So as the fight progresses, he will deal a lot more damage. Randomly, he will cast Go for the Throat, an instant attack in which he will grab a random group member, stun them, and deal melee damage to them. This is unavoidable and just needs to be healed through. He also has a swipe that hits his main target as well as 2 other nearby group members, so you should do your best to spread out. A few seconds into the fight, he will summon fog that will cover the entire room. You'll see vapors emerge from this fog periodically, and they don't have a lot of health. However, if you leave them alone, the fog will empower them, increasing their size, health pool, and damage. They also have a Cone of Cold frost attack, so you should try your best to stay away from them. The vapors will continue to spawn for the entire duration, and their spawn rate will increase as the fight goes on, so be ready to kill them as quickly as you can before their damage goes out of control. Once he reaches 10%, he'll summon about 5 vapors at once, and just like many other bosses, you want to save your major DPS cooldowns for this point to make sure that he dies before your group does. The next boss is Captain Cookie, which is a very entertaining fight. Cookie will jump on his stew and start to throw food at your members randomly. As you may notice, there's going to be good food and bad food. If you stand anywhere close to the bad food, you'll take a considerable amount of damage, and you want to make sure to avoid it. Also, if you eat it, you'll start throwing it up, and you will take more damage over time. The good food has a golden glow attached to it, and whenever you eat it, you'll gain increased movement, attack, and casting speed. You can continue to eat more good food and stack this buff to a considerable amount. He has significantly more health than other bosses, so you want to make sure to stack your haste as much as possible in order to defeat him before the poisonous food covers all the floor. Once you defeat Cookie, you will encounter the final boss, Vanessa Van Cleef. However, due to the nature of this fight, we will dedicate an entire video to this encounter. At this point, you have now completed most of the Deadmines on Heroic mode. Be sure to check out our video on Vanessa Van Cleef to learn how to do this encounter. This was Rizna, bringing you another LOD Cataclysm Dungeon Guide. If you want to see other boss guides, make sure to check out both our channel and our website, and feel free to join our blog to participate in our discussions. Both links can be found in the description box below. Also, don't forget to subscribe, and thank you for watching.